Yeah, Summit reached out to me about making a poster for the Prohibition Repeal Day, which is April 7th, and it was the day that the prohibition on 3.2 beer and I guess like lighter alcohols was lifted, which was a good thing for a lot of people. And they wanted something that kind of was celebrating that. I wanted to kind of deal a lot more with like just the idea of the industry kind of taking off again. So yeah, the idea that I had originally had was kind of this idea of kind of this like fantastic like factory type situation. I'm not terribly fluent in breweries and like the inner workings of that kind of stuff, so I kind of had to wing it a little bit. So I pulled a bunch of photos of old mills and gold mines and you know, places where they essentially like just pluck stuff out of the earth and kind of interpreted that. So it's, you know, essentially it's like an exterior of this mill, and there's kind of the idea of like piles of these like kegs and barrels and things like that, and some of them are being hoisted around and just moved, just like what you would probably see if you like, you know, climbed over a hill and were peeking in at this thing. The way that I usually work is starting by hand, and I'll, you know, physically just do that with pencil and paper, and really no help from computers at all at that point. It's all very analog pencil drawing. The whole time I'm kind of thinking about how, you know, it's going to break down and be translated to screen printing process. Like screen printing is a very binary system. It'll either print or it won't print. So, you know, you have to make sure that all your marks are dark enough that they'll kind of pass the test, and anything that's light falls out. I use pencils with really small, really precise leads, and just try to get as much detail as I can out of that. I was just trying to make, you know, bold marks that would show up and survive the screen printing process. Anything black is going to block out the light that's going through and keep the emulsion soft, and everything that the light can pass through is going to harden it and make it so it won't break down in water. So this thing, you know, we put this on here and weight everything down and expose it for, you know, a few minutes, and then we have our stencil. Everything that's cooked in blocks out the ink. Yeah, there's one of these screens for each color. So this is that first layer that goes down. This is the mustard yellow. This is the screen for that bluish gray sky. There's not so much coverage on here. The three of them together will make the whole image. So at this point, each sheet is passed through twice, once for the yellow, once for the blue, and we're about to hit it again with a black, and that'll be the third pass through the press. Landland is a very small two-person studio, and we've been based here in Northeast Minneapolis. We mostly make posters for bands. We do a lot of design work too, of like record sleeves and largely like music-oriented kind of things. But what we do most of is these hand-printed posters for bands. Everything's drawn by hand. It's all dealt with the same way that this poster for you guys was done. Yeah, there's something about it. Like I think it has a lot to do with craft. Like you can tell that this thing has been touched, you know, a lot by like a person actually dealt with it, rather than something that like like an inkjet printer spit out, or, you know, something that was kind of made, you know, like churned out. With this, it's like there's a lot of messing around with it, and there's a lot of kind of weird artifacts of the process that give it like a very like loved, very kind of this idea that it's been like dealt with. It's like a very like tactile, like physical process, and I think that shows in the final prints. You know, like it definitely has a different quality than something that got spit out of a printer.